Hello everyone, this is Plankera, and welcome to my universe. Today, I'm gonna continue rigging Shalom from Path to Nowhere. So now I'm looking at kinda this area of her hair. This is the last area I plan to look at before basically going down into strands and stuff. So I'm getting close to finishing things off. Yesterday, I wasn't quite able to get through the bottom turn. I got a little bit sleepy. And indeed, I was pretty sleepy for the rest of the afternoon. But it's okay, I managed. My kids wanted to go to the park, and there were other kids there, so that made my afternoon a little bit easier than it otherwise could. It's always nice when there's other kids there, because they just immediately want to go play with them. Instead of me, so I can just kind of do what I want, chill out, look at the trees. Think about things. It's pretty nice. The park in our area is pretty nice. Very peaceful. So let's see. I was adjusting stuff up there because it was the first thing I was looking at there. There was something about the way these highlights were moving that I didn't like. But the big part that I'm actually interested in adjusting here is kind of the outer edge of her hair. It's still kind of bulging upward. And I also don't think that this part is exactly in the right spot. So I'm going to start here, and then I'm going to work my way down the strand here. Yeah, there we go. That's a bit better. And now I just feel like kind of the apex of that peak needs to come a little bit back toward the right. Just to get that all lined up. Maybe even be a little bit pointier. It's not super pointy, but there is a little bit of a plateau on the top. But it is still distinctly a triangle. Or at least a triangular shape. Alright, then smooth things out there, let it swoop down naturally. Okay. Yeah, that's already doing much better. Now let's smooth out the slope right there. Keep wanting to click on a layer further down for some reason. It's like I have all my layers grouped based on left and right side of the head here. So I think it's funny that I keep wanting to click down here in order to find the strand, which is very clearly on the right side of her head. Or I guess her left, as the case may be. Okay, I think I still want it to go a little bit further to the right. Gonna make it a little bit smaller, just so I can more firmly push it over. There we go. I can see why I was a little bit too tired to do this properly yesterday. There's definitely a little bit more to it than there were on a lot of my other directions. Like really, there was like nothing I had to fix on my right or upward turns, but for some reason the left and the downward turns had a lot more wrong with them. A little bit unfortunate how that worked out. That's okay, I can get it today. Future self continuing to pick up slack for the past self. That's just how it works sometimes. Okay. Now I can go back to kind of shaping the shape of that little hill there. Because it actually is quite steep. I'll worry about this far for now. I'll get over there a little bit later. I want to make sure that I definitely have this shaped the way that I want it to. Right here is going to define the outer edge of her head. So I do think that it's important to get it right. I always talk about certain areas being a little bit more important than others. I like to rate them as, I guess, the important areas, anything around a focal point, and anything that's basically deciding a separation between 2 points. Like, sometimes if it's like really in shadow, it makes sense to let your objects kind of meld together. That's pretty common. But when it's in light, or in this case just completely transparent, as it is here, I think that extra bit of clarity is actually pretty useful. So I just want to make sure that it's shaped the way that I think it should be, and that it's very clearly defining where the back of her head should be. And some of those things of clarity are variable depending on style, like my more graphic styles, my more minimalist ones. The clarity is super important in most cases, just because you really have no other way of knowing where the edge of something is. Although I also, even within that, very intentionally make it so certain shapes are lost and kind of meld into each other. But for the most part, a more graphic style requires sharper edges. And making all of that clear. Whereas a more painterly one you can get away with not being messier, but letting your shadows kind of bunch together a little bit more. That tends to be how it is in real life. That's why it's easier to see things that are more in light. Optics are weird. I'm not sure how to explain it all. Honestly, at some point it might be fun to actually look into the science of how people see things a little bit more. Because I know some of it. I know, like, the basics. Well, maybe a little bit beyond the basics. Because sometimes artists talk about the raw basics, and I'm more thinking in terms of a scientific perspective. Where I know the basics there. Rods and cones and all that. Okay, yeah, that shape is looking pretty good now. I am quite pleased. And then I think before I shape it a little bit more, I noticed that this area was bulging a little bit. So I'm gonna go tuck it down, and then I'll worry about getting that shape just right. Okay, yeah, that's not bulging anymore. There's maybe some other issues, but I think I want to work on this outer edge first. I think it'll make everything easier in the long run. So I have fixed the problem that was bothering me there, so now I can continue down the strand and fix all the problems bothering me there too. Just gonna fix all of the problems. So some of this is poofing out quite a bit here. So I'm going to go ahead and bring it back a bit. And then I also noticed that there's this light area going into this super dark area. And I didn't think it was quite in the right place. It looked like the vertices got slid down somehow. You can see this is still a little bit wavy. I'm just making sure that the lights that I do see are in good spots before I start cleaning everything up. Because right now they're actually not. Yeah, I'm still not satisfied. But this is why I check, because if I hadn't checked, and I spent a bunch of time making everything here nice and clean, that would have been a lot of wasted time, since I still have to come through and clean everything up here. Or not clean everything up, but get everything into the place that I want it to be. Okay, I think that highlight is in a good spot now. So now I just need to get the shape. I feel like this part right around this color change here is still a little bit blobby. Still a little bit blocky. So I'll just push it all in like this. And I will propagate that little push all the way down. Okay, that should be far enough for now. Okay, good. Part of it is actually going a little bit too far in now. This top part is looking a lot better, though. So, okay, we need to make this floofier. This part is supposed to be a little bit rounder. Okay. So now I think I've got all the way down to about here. And some of the smaller details on exactly how all of this is, they're a little bit hard to explain. But basically, I just see something... How do I describe this? It's a lot easier when everything is just so far off that you see stuff moving around and it looks very funny. But here it's all very subtle. because I'm just kind of getting into the final bits. Okay, hold on. There's a mark in my computer monitor that's driving me slightly crazy, so let me go wipe it off real quick. Okay, there we go. Remember how I was saying that when I'm moving things around, I just look for things that look like they're moving on their own, rather than moving all together, I guess is the best way to put it. Well, there was a little tiny mark on my monitor, and that meant that every time that I moved something, there's still a little bit of it there, but yes, every time that I moved something, that mark would stay still. And it was kind of translucent and easy to see through, so it kind of matched the color of the hair, and it was just driving me absolutely bonkers while I was trying to figure out where everything needed to go here. It's like, all of the details here are small enough that even a little mark like that can totally throw me off. I'm guessing that there might have been tiny humans here messing with my computer again. They do that occasionally. Today I found my microphone just way out in outer space. I am glad that it is firmly clamped to my desk, and it's very, very difficult to steal, so it just got swung around and stretched out at a weird angle. Otherwise, I may not know where it is right now. Okay. Shape's looking much better. But before I can really call the shape good, there's also this little shadow shape. It's a little bit hard to see because it's a slightly darker purple against a slightly lighter purple. But it's not quite in the right spot, so I gotta get it there before I can really call this all good. Because that tells me that the center vertices are not all in the right place, and if I have to move them a little further out, that means I have to move these outer vertices a little further in order to keep the dark line here the same shape and the same size. My eyes have been a little bit itchy this morning. I think the plants are starting to come back to life. Spring is coming. I, for one, am not a fan of the plants coming back to life. It's like the best part of winter. As much as I enjoy the snow, the fact that all the plants are dead is absolutely fantastic. See, this is why I should go live in space. There's no plants in space. No seasonal allergies in space. For me, it's only gotten bad in recent years, which leads me to believe that I probably have some kind of rogue plant in my backyard. that my body does not agree with. So, someday I will track down that plant and vacate it from the premises. I just hope it's my backyard and not one of my neighbor's backyards. Because if it's mine, it's something I can do about. But I do know that my neighbors do have this particular bush that I don't think always agrees with me. But they tend to be far enough away that I don't feel it too hard unless I go outside or something. So. All of this is just kind of aligning some of this interior texture here. I think the shape overall is okay. Probably needs a couple of adjustments, but I don't see the point in doing a ton of that until the interior is correct as well. Okay, I still feel like the interior is getting, like, stuck right there, which tells me that I need to move some vertices down. But I've gotten everything up there. See, this is why I didn't want to do this bottom turn yesterday. I knew that there'd be a lot to it. I could tell just by looking at it. And I was kind of tired. Sometimes I wish I could have, you know, like the 8-hour streams that a lot of people do. But I think I'd have a rough time doing art for 8 hours straight. Unless I was just rendering something. Like if I'm just doing a bunch of hardcore rendering, I generally can go for like 12 hours. As long as I get up and walk around periodically. But when I actually have to think, and there's decisions to make, and I have to look really carefully and make sure everything's good, yeah, that gets a bit tiring. Talking on top of it is also a bit tiring. So this is another spot that I think will define a lot of the outer part of the hair, is that there's a tiny gap in between this hair and this hair. So I want to make sure that tiny gap is good too. A little bit of light here is proving to be a little bit difficult there. But I want to make sure it's in a good spot, because it is a good way to separate this strand from this one. Because this one's very dark in this area, And then we have this nice little light spot there, giving her hair a little bit more volume. Okay, I think that area is doing well now, so now I can start working my way all the way down. I don't think I'm going to go all the way to the bottom. Just part way. So I think I want to do the bottom when I start... or when I have more of this strand a little bit figured out. Bottom is very important though, so that will definitely be coming with this pass. But for now, I just kind of want to get the general shape of kind of right through here. Well, you know what? No, I think I might actually go do some of the other parts first. Like, I can tell that this needs a little bit more shaping, but let's go ahead and do the roots of this strand. I changed my mind. I just want to get things on the top good, and then work my way down. I think it'll be easier to read everything that way. And hopefully I will have to do less intense staring if I do it like this. Because honestly, one of the hardest things to do is move things around when you know that multiple spots in that area are wrong. And that's what leads to lots and lots of intense staring. At least for me. So now I'm pretty confident in my back area here. So I think I can pretty confidently work on the strand sitting right in front of it. And then once I have a little bit more of that looking good, I can get this guy. I think I have most of this guy good already, but I can get the last little bits, and then we can get over here. This, though, this all the way down here, I'm not touching it. I'm not going to touch the strand from hell any more than I have to today. I'm going to get all of that when I go and do strands. Right now, just the bulk of her head. That is what I'm focused on. Anything below the eyes is not my concern right now. Everything below the eyes will be there for my future self. And she can deal with the strand from hell instead of me. Thank you for your sacrifice. Okay, so when I look over here, I'm still seeing a lot of squirming in this little highlight here. Much like the highlight here, I think this offers good separation between this really dark spot right here and this strand. So I want to make sure that its angle is good and that it's all in the right spot. I'm gonna stare at this for a second, really figure out how I want that angle to go, and why I think it's wrong right now. It's easier to move things around when you at least have an idea of what might be wrong. Okay, that still looks pretty messy, but let's see if it's doing any better. Maybe. I do wish that I made this a little bit easier to work with. Okay, what's the shape? Oh god. And I even did a weird shape in the mesh. There's just like this random vertex way down here. Okay, that's probably what's throwing me off here. So yes, this vertex is supposed to go way down here, and the rest are a little bit different. That wasn't exactly a mesh consultation, but I might need one. Because, man. Yeah, well, let's just go ahead and consult the mesh. I think I can keep it mostly the same shape, just a little bit thicker. So let's see what the mesh says is wrong. Okay, it says this one needs to be a little bit lower. Okay, so I think that asking the mesh a couple of questions definitely helped me out there. Of course, we're off speaking in triangles. But I think I got it in a better spot. Let's see here. Yeah, I think that's fine. It's like if I was really inclined, I could probably spend like another, I don't know, hour just really getting this exactly perfect. But I think this is fine. The couple of little spots that are off are so minor that even I barely see them when I zoom out. So now I'm just gonna work on the bottom part of it. The bottom part is mostly fine too. There was just like one little spot where the angle was just a little bit off. Yeah, there we go. I think that's good. Okay, now I'm gonna go take a look at this guy. I actually think he's looking pretty okay, so I'm not even sure if there's anything I want to adjust on it. But I want to take a close look at it just in case. Yeah, it's fine. I think this strand is looking pretty good. Does it look all the way good all the way to the end? Yeah, I think so. Okay. So now... Oh man, we're entering Strand from Hell territory. I guess I have to worry about the very top of it. Is there anything I want to fix up there? Maybe slightly... I think it's mostly fine. I'm gonna be very careful touching all this. Just because... Oh gosh. This strand and I do not get along. We haven't for quite some time. It just always gives me a lot of trouble. But it's okay. It looks like the last time I went and touched it, that I fixed most of the issues. So I think it's actually pretty okay here. And I don't even think I'm coping. There's just something about the textures in this area that when they stretch out, it looks really weird. And when they don't stretch out, it looks really weird. And like the texturing is just very different through this area. I don't really know how to explain it, but I can see that it's still stretching out a little bit in a couple of areas. Mostly right here. So let's see if I can eliminate that stretched out feeling. I think I have the vertices in the middle all right. So I think it's just something about the outer ones. Yeah, it's still being stretched out. It's possible I need to move this one just slightly higher up. I'm trying not to move it too much though, because I think I have the other side pretty good. I think this is probably fine. Just like one little area here. Yeah, if I keep the vertices a little bit more even, that will probably help my case. And I'm not going to go all the way down that strand. I'm just going far enough to like the bottom of her ears here, so that this way I can very nicely tuck this strand where it belongs back there. Okay, I think that's good. Anything I want to fix up here? It does look like the angle on the strand is changing a little bit, so there might be something I want to fix there. Actually gonna hide this for just a sec. So I can do some intense staring and just really get this entire shape here looking nice. We'll let it gently just fall down there. It's quite straight. And I think I just straightened it out a little bit more there. So let's see how that's doing. Okay. And the last little bit that I want to fix is actually up here, which is not quite as bad to work with. It still has issues. I mean, as I was showing when I was dealing with that highlight. But this part's actually pretty okay. This part isn't quite as hateful as down here. We get along a little bit better. Okay, I think that's good. So now I can go ahead and finish off this strand. And then I can finally get into the corners. I'm gonna go do my right corners first because there's like nothing in this area showing on my right turn, so it'll be nice and easy in theory. And I'd kind of like to do something nice and easy after all that. That sounds nice. It's like there are times when I do something that's a little bit difficult. And I'm like, okay, I'm super pumped up. Let's go do something else hard. Just give all the hard things and it'll feel great. That does happen sometimes. And then other times I'm like, you know, that was hard. Let's chill out and do something easy now. Today is one of the latter days. Just kind of want to chill out and do something easy for a while. Okay, there we go. That's much better up there. It's getting there. The shape of the strand is actually a little bit funky If you look at it closely, it kind of goes out here, then down, and out, and down, and it's just super wavy. For as many strands are in this hair, this outer part right there, super wavy. Not even round, just very, very wavy. It's fascinating. I could probably learn a lot by really examining this artist's style. Maybe at some point I'll try to draw something in it, but I don't know, there's a bunch of stuff that I've been wanting to do lately, so it's been hard to find the time to do all the things that I want. My continued lamentation that I am mortal and have to pick and choose what I want to do with my life. That there's not enough time for everything. Opportunity cost is my worst enemy. It says, no fun allowed. Alright, I'm just at the very end there, and I'm basically trying to get the lines on the edge there looking right, because it looks like some of it kind of got pulled down a bit. So I'm pushing everything back up a little. I'm just trying to get the vertices to be fairly evenly spaced here. At least I assume that's how I meshed it. You never know. I've been noticing small problems here and there. I mean, I did just see a problem with my meshes back when I was working on the highlight of the strand up here, so I guess you can never really know. I'd have to consult the mesh for details. The mesh knows more than I do. It's very smart. And I see one more little thing that I want to fix on the strand from hell. I just want to push this little highlight a little bit closer to the edge there. There we go. A very, very gentle movement, but there's something about the angle on it that was bothering me. Okay, and I think that's pretty good. So now I can move into the corners. Since I just did a bottom turn, I'm actually going to do the upper right first. Normally I run away from the upper right kicking and screaming, but today I guess I'm just going right in. Doesn't look like it's too bad, actually. So let's see, the first thing I noticed was that this is a little bit off. I think it's a little bit small. The apex needs to come out just a little bit more, but I think before I do that, I really want to check the layer that sits on top of it. So let's make sure that this guy is lined up properly. I'm especially checking its vertical height. So can I successfully slide everything across here and be happy? No, but it's extremely close. And I have to remind myself that I haven't actually done the upper left angle, even though I normally do it first. Okay, that seems alright. It's like I did a little bit more with this area earlier, so I'm mostly just checking the backside. Okay, yeah, that seems alright. So now I'll go step back and start getting that guy. But that one was actually looking pretty alright to me. I see a little bit on this tiny highlight that I think I want to make a little bit nicer. Alright, now I just want to make this just a tad rounder, a little bit more floofy. I think there's always going to be a little bit of a boxy quality to it. That's okay. I actually do think that is okay. Okay, yeah, I think that's pretty good. So now I can go and do the very back. See, this is why I wanted to start with this side. I wanted to do something a little bit easy, and I was pretty sure that this wouldn't be too bad at all. And so far, so good. We'll see if the lower right cooperates just as well. So I just kind of wanted that to come forward a little bit. So this way we see the peak a little bit better. Yeah. Okay, and I'm going to check the vertical height again. Okay, it looks like on my upper left it's a little bit high, but the other ones all looked okay to me. Everything seemed totally fine. I guess I'm actually doing a little bit on the upper left too, when I wasn't quite expecting to. But I do want to make sure that it's all lined up nicely vertically, so it's okay. It checks out. I'll be doing everything eventually, so it doesn't really matter what order I do it in. Just whatever works for me. And right now, apparently that is this. I think it's a good way to be. Even if you're doing art seriously, I think it's good to be pretty chill about it. Just enjoy it and let the ideas flow. See what happens. I think that's when a lot of the best ideas come. And if I'm being honest, if you don't take it like too deadly seriously, but still like do your best to just make good work, I think it stops you from being too pretentious as well. I've seen a lot of people interested in the arts that get a little bit on the pretentious side. Try to make things out to be big and important rather than just, ah yes, I made the nice thing. I have expressed the idea in my head. I am pleased. And that tends to be how I look at art in general. Although considering that you are expressing ideas somehow, whether through some visual medium like this or through a written medium or whatever else you might be doing. Because relates to the discussion of ideas, I think it's kind of inevitable that it gets a little bit pretentious. I've been reading some stuff about philosophy for reasons, and man, philosophers, or I guess I should say, artists ain't got nothing on philosophers when it comes to pretentiousness. Sometimes it can be a little bit hard to read. Both in terms of cringe and, like, okay, did you need to use, like, 3 paragraphs to describe this idea? I swear it probably could have been described in 3 sentences. It's fine. Both difficult to read physically, or literally and metaphysically. I think that's a good way to put it. You know, even though I worked on a fairly difficult part at the beginning there, I'm still feeling pretty good today. I've definitely been having a few problems with my energy levels, but today I think I'm doing pretty good, so I might go a little bit longer than usual. We'll see how I feel. But I would like to get a little bit more done. Just because, phew, that bottom turn really took a lot. So it took a long time, and I'd really like to try to get a lot of these corners done. Fortunately, I'm kind of working on 2 at once up here, just to make sure that everything's lining up vertically the way I want it to. So that... well, I guess that means that, even though I'm just finishing up the first one, technically, that I'm probably getting a little bit more done than it actually looks like. That's a nice feeling. What is this? Is this you? Yes, okay. There was something not moving quite right there, and I was trying to determine what layer it was. But yeah, this guy he got a little bit stretched out. That's fine. And just bring that back over here, where it belongs. But man, he really did get super stretched out. I'm not actually sure how that happened. Just doing some intense staring here, trying to figure out exactly what's going on. If I'm being honest, I'm still not entirely sure, but I think I've identified the gist. I think a little piece of it was just going a little bit too high up. Yeah, there we go. While I'm over here, I guess I'll go ahead and get the very back of this. So once again, this part actually needs to be quite straight. Doesn't seem like it should actually be going behind this strand, though, so I'm a little confused. Oh no, this is the upward turn. What am I talking about? This is fine. For some reason, I thought it was just the left turn. I was like, yeah, this part should be showing here. Why isn't it? And yes, of course. Because it's the upper left turn, not the left turn. From the upper left, it kind of recedes behind her head and goes into the distance. Okay. I think that's about everything lined up vertically, so now I'm just gonna clean up the side here. It got a little bit crunchy with all that movement. And then I'm ready to go to the lower left. If all of them could be this simple, that would be fantastic. Alright, let's go do here. In this turn, we see a little bit more of this hair in this direction, but not much. It's still pretty firmly tucked away. So I don't actually feel like I have to fix very much here either. That's a nice feeling. Indeed, I'm just going through and doing a bunch of easy stuff real quick. Wonderful. Indeed, I am so much more relaxed than I was when working on the bottom turn. So hopefully this means that once I'm ready to go work on my left turns, I'll be feeling pretty good. Okay, this time I think... Okay, I think I see why I was having some problems. This guy over here, on my right turn, I'd never noticed, but it looks like he got a little bit stretched out. I probably had a vision that didn't quite pan out. Such things happen. Okay, so I guess I have a little bit to do on my right turn that I didn't quite expect. That's okay. I tend to always see it like this. If there's a mistake somewhere, it'll come out eventually. I think I know what I was going for. But it didn't quite pan out, and I think it looks better like this. Yeah, it definitely does. Now all of this is a little bit better lined up here. Because yeah, I'm pretty sure what I was trying to do was that you can see on this layer there's all this pink stuff and then there's this little indent of red that kind of comes into it. And I think I was trying to align that indent of red up onto this here, because that made sense in my brain. But it doesn't actually quite work like that. You can see it doesn't quite go inside. It goes inside the pink part. So now I have it going into the pink part over here. So that was just a little bit of a misunderstanding there. Not really a big deal. And now I have a little bit of a hole that I want to fill in. There we go. Okay, now I can go back to working on my lower left turn. And just perfecting all of that. This area around here has the most little textures of all the roots in this area. So it's not surprising that it's going to take the longest to really get into place. That's okay, it's good to take my time here. The part of her hair, or, you know, where the roots kind of come out, I think does a good job of showing a bunch of dimension in her hair. So I do want to get everything into the good spots here. I feel like right here is poofing out just a little bit too much. Just a little bit. And then maybe actually a little bit more poof to the very bottom. As always, gotta find that optimal level of floof. It's no good if it's not properly optimized. Here, it's still not quite optimized. Now it's a little bit too much. Such things happen when searching for the optimal levels of floof. Can't be too much, can't be too little, has to be just right. Always. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. I like the way it sticks out a little bit more. It doesn't look like her hair is necessarily falling off. Okay. I just want to fix up the shapes kind of right over here. And then I think all will be well. Okay, yeah, I think that's good. Now I'm gonna go check on the very back here. And of course, this guy here. How's that one doing? I feel like there's a little bit more floof I can do with that guy right there. I don't think he needs a lot, just a little bit like right through there. I think will actually make a big difference. Oh, that's right, I did. Thank you, Luminance. But yes, I did. I finally hit 100. I was gonna draw something for that today, after stream. So yeah, thank you all. I'm small enough that I still notice, like, every single subscription, and I have been constantly refreshing my page to see when it would finally break 100, so I appreciate every single one of you that has subscribed. It means a lot to me. Thank you. Yeah, I plan to. I've been having a pretty good time doing it also. I see no reason to stop. Especially if there's people out there that do enjoy it. So here I'm kind of determined to try to fix, or to finish, the main bulk of her hair before moving down some of those strands that go below the eyes. So I'm about done with the second quarter, so here's hoping that I can get the other two. Unfortunately, much more of this shows on the left side than the right. That's why I started on the right, because I thought it'd be a little bit easier. But, hopefully I can get there. Yeah, and I see a little bit of squirming in some of the textures here. But yes, I'm hoping I can finish that up. And then tomorrow I can get on the next pass of the strands and finish those soon. And someday, maybe someday, I can actually do some body turns and physics and all this other fun stuff. I could stop looking at hair. It'll be very exciting. Alright, and for this one I think I just need to shape this top part. I'll probably line it up with my lower left turn. I'm going to be doing the lower left right after I do this anyway, so no harm in doing so. Just make sure that everything is at the right height vertically. I did something similar with the upper turns not too long ago. Okay, now I think I've worked out the shape there, so let's go ahead and line everything up vertically before I go and move on here. Oh my. Yeah, I see that there are going to be a bunch of things I need to fix down here. But I kind of expected that. Anyway, first things first. These guys are a little bit low. So I'm gonna get them all about roughly the same height. I don't have any, like, proper rulers or anything in this program yet, so I can't know for, like, absolutely certain whether I have everything at the right height, but I can try. I can at least kind of eyeball it. Okay, I think that's a good height now. Definitely still needs some shaping. I guess, you know, since I'm doing this angle next, I might as well do that now. Let's just work on this outer part. We'll define the outer edge of her head, much like I did when I was working on the lower turn today. Just get all of that worked out, and then I'll worry about a bunch of the other stuff. So I already know that I need to tuck this in quite a lot, because I need this line to be, like, straight. And right now you can see it's very curved. But if you look over here, there is a slight curvature to it, but it is quite straight. Such a surprising number of straights used in the hair here. I continue to be amazed about that. I really do. Just interesting, the number of things that I've never noticed until I really got in and tried to do what is essentially a whole ton of redrawing. Makes me want to try, like, fully redrawing art again at some point. I've never actually done it with art proper. I've done it with photos, where I just scrutinize a photo and try to make an exact copy of it. But I haven't done that with other art. So maybe I will someday. It sounds like it could be interesting. I bet I could learn a fair amount from it. Okay, before I continue to work on this back spot here, there's a bunch of stuff here that's squirming in my peripheral vision, as always. So I want to kind of tuck that in, get some of those all lined up a little bit better. Doesn't have to be perfect right now. I just wanted to stop squirming. I just wanted to stop bothering me. Give it just enough attention to make it be quiet, more or less. Let it stop being so whiny. And I'll worry about perfecting everything later. Okay, there we go. That's much better. Okay. Before I move on, I kind of want to get this highlight into place. Once again, just enough to make it stop complaining. I'm not actually going to straighten it out or make sure the angles are correct on it or anything. I just want its general location to be right. Because right now, I want to focus on the back. And that's the part I'm looking at right now. And it feels so much better now that I have all those squirming parts out of the way. Now I can see a little bit better. This is going to be interesting. I feel like the bottom turd wants a little bit less poof here, but the left turd wants a little bit more. So I'm going to have to find a way to join those, and let them live in harmony. Not quite sure how I'm going to do that yet. So, I don't know. Time to try stuff. I'll start with this. I'll make it just a little bit less poofy here. I'll worry about cleaning up those edges a little bit later. Let's see if that's a little bit better. Yeah, I think so. It's a little bit better. It actually lines up pretty decently with my left turn too. Okay, that's good. Maybe I won't have to pull as many shenanigans as I feared. Let's get this back part fairly okay here. I'm actually going to line that up with the left because I think it'll give me more information. Okay. I think the lower left is probably going to be the hardest of these turns, at least for this specific area, because it's the area where it's the biggest, where the most of the hair in this area is showing. On the right, most of it was hidden, and on the upper left, some of it is going to kind of go into the back. It's going to be covered up. But here, it's showing the entire thing, and it has to be a little bit larger than it is on just the basic left turn. because her hair is tilted down so we see a little bit more of the top of her head. So if I can get this one, it's going to be pretty smooth sailing. We'll see if I can. I can tell that I'm starting to get a little bit tired and hungry. My body is starting to complain a bit. So alas, 3-hour streams might still be out of my reach. I know it hasn't even been 2 hours yet, but that is just how I've been feeling. So I thought it might be interesting to be able to go a little bit longer sometimes, and wow, I did that completely wrong. Okay, you know, maybe we should do the upper left first. I've already lined up a lot of that, so we'll see how I feel after I finish this one, and if I'm feeling up for going back into the lower left, I will, and if not, well, that'll be the first thing I do tomorrow. So it'll be kind of like how I did things today, where I had one area that I wasn't quite able to finish yesterday, you know, the bottom turn. And I was able to get it done today, and it all worked out pretty well. But I would like to at least try. We'll see what I can do. But for now, I will definitely focus on what I can do in this very moment, which is finishing up the upper left turn, since I already had that one like halfway done. Okay, before I keep going back down this way, I want to double check this strand. I think it was doing okay. I made sure that it was all lined up. I say this, but now I'm checking something, so here we are. Yeah, I feel like it's stretching a little bit here, so I should fix that. I didn't notice it until I started really just scrutinizing that area on the upper left here. So I think something like this should look a little bit better. Really lift it off there. Okay, so yeah, I think this area is good, so now I'll just go and look at this area. And I do think that there were quite a few problems there. Once again, I'm going to start with this one, the strand from hell. Actually, I think I'm even going to go harder on it. I'm going to hide the strand back there, and just so that this way I can really see the outer edge of that strand with no distractions. Absolutely no distractions. So I'm kind of trying to straighten it out just a little bit here. There we go. That's pretty straight. Got a little bit of an angle change here that I think is wrong. Oh, it's actually not as wrong as I thought it was. Okay. Yeah, I guess it's just a side effect of how I rigged things here. I actually think that's wrong, so... Let's fix that. This area is supposed to be nice and straight. There we go. Okay. So now I can fix that up here. And they should line up. And then the other thing that I want to do is really make sure that this highlight is in the right spot. That highlight is an important highlight. Highlight is surprisingly fine. Up here is pretty bad, though. I was trying to look at the highlight, but I was so distracted by how wrong things were up there that it was pretty hard. So definitely have to fix some of that up. That's gonna be tricky, but manageable. I should be able to get it. Okay, some of it is... I'm surprised that the vertices need to swing that far that way. I'm actually going to consult the mesh here. There is just something right there that does not know what is going on. Okay. It's this vertex. This vertex was the culprit. Just trying to hide, but... well, the mesh knows all, so... the truth would come out eventually. It always does. Okay, there we go. That's so much better. Okay. Now I'm gonna have to kind of fix this guy. There's a little shadow that dips down into the roots, and it's a little bit thick on the bottom at this angle. This tells me that a lot of these little outer vertices probably just have weird angles on them, and I forgot. I definitely don't remember the exact shape of every mesh that I make, so... yeah, there we go. That's a little bit better. Now there's the shenanigan here. Now it's funny, on the other end, this guy got super stretched out. But on this end, it got super compressed. So... the exact opposite. I always find little coincidences like that funny. What are you? Are you... okay. So there's something with this. Oh, this needs to, like, come down here or something. I'm not exactly sure what I'm seeing. Okay. And I think part of it is also... this strand here. Just little things that I'm noticing now that I'm sliding her head back and forth a little bit more. Gotta flute this out just a tad. Because it was a little bit lower than it should have been relative to the same strand over on my upper left here. Oh, there we go. That's much better. As expected, the left corners are proving to be significantly more difficult than the right ones. It's barely showing on the right, so it makes sense, but man, there's a lot to do. Art is hard. I think that will just be a universal truth. Art is hard. It's okay, because I think it's also very worthwhile. Okay. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. Is there anything I want to fix back here? I mean, I know I still have this off. So I'm not done yet, but I want to check on everything. Make sure it's all lining up well. Until I'm ready to go work on that last bit. I want these highlights to be thicker. Okay, that is so much better. Just the little bit of work it took to thicken those, oh man, made it so much better. Now I just want to adjust the angle of the overall highlight a bit. I want it to kind of curve around her head there. Okay, that looks pretty good. Now I can start getting into lower parts. All through here. I'm still gonna do it with the other strand turned off for now. I'm just gonna keep it off until I'm satisfied, more or less. Yeah, I feel like the angle of this bottom part is just a little bit off. I keep clicking on the wrong layer. Yeah, I kind of wanted to go downward a little bit like this, but I still want everything over here to be kind of straight. So I might need to adjust some vertices further down too. Gotta be real careful with that though, because this is the strand from hell. And once I get into that weird textured area, everything goes off the rails and I have no idea what's going on anymore. So I just need to try to keep some of that tamed. Okay, I brought it too far over. honestly, I'm a little relieved. I was moving it a lot, and I was getting a little bit concerned. Okay, and then I just want to make it a little bit lower, so that this way it'll line up with my upward turn. Just a tiny bit. Nothing too serious. Okay, and even though I have this entire area kind of shoved under the rug, there's a spot that's not quite working for me, so I want to raise it a little bit higher. Something like this. Unfortunately, even though it's all shoved under the rug, I do have to make sure things line up with my upward turn still. Okay, that seems fine. It's just a little bit too low. Okay, and I think that's good. So now I'll turn this back on. Finish up the last little bit of it, and I think that's where I will stop for today. I will do the lower left tomorrow, because I am definitely getting tired and hungry. Alright. So let's see what I can do here. Actually, I feel like a lot of those vertices there got slid down quite a lot. But it's okay, it looks like I fixed a lot of this when I was working on it before. Okay, the back is definitely coming out quite a lot. Just right up here. Let me see, it is lined up vertically though, right? The very top is in a good spot? It is. Most excellent. So that means I can just kinda carefully shape it like this. Everything is just going behind the hair there, so I don't really even have to worry about it. Don't have to worry about it at all. Alright, that kept things pretty simple. And I still think it looks good on my left turn. Yeah, that still looks pretty alright. So now I just need to finish lining it up over here. And I feel like over here is actually mostly okay. Just gotta get that initial angle looking nice. Alright, almost there. Gonna tuck in this... Where are you? There you are. The very back of it here, kind of where it sticks out just a little bit more. Just need to tuck him in just a teeny tiny bit. I think I've already got over here mostly good though. So now I'm just kind of perfecting the angle where it comes out from behind her hair here. And that's taking a little bit. But I want it to be good, because this is the outer edge of her hair. This is what is going to define what her head looks like, what shape it is, and all that good stuff. Okay, just about there. Just about there. Just, having trouble finding the exact spot for all that. Yeah, there we go, that should be fine. Guess it was the middle one. Nope, that's too round right there. It needs to be very flat. There's a very sharp angle right there. Like if you look, the angle is pretty sharp. So that's a little bit too round. Finding the right balance, always a little bit tricky. Especially when I'm a little bit sleepy. It's okay, I'll find it. I'm determined to at least finish this angle. We can save the last one for tomorrow. Alright. Still blobbing a little bit out the back there. So we'll just gently tuck some of these guys in. Let them hide behind the rest of the hair just a little bit more. Okay, I think that's good. So I think I'll call that good. I'll take another look at it tomorrow. But there we go. That's 3 out of the 4 corners done. We'll just do this one, and then next I want to get the side bangs. And then I'll worry about all the rest of the hair. But this is where I will stop for today. So, thank you all for coming, and I hope you're able to make something wonderful today. I'll see you all tomorrow.